Hi friends, you're tuned into dangerouscurves.net. This is our second episode in our AI talks. And today we have Nimrod Saunders as a guest with us. Hi Nimrod.
Hi, Ron.
How are you?
Very good. Now that we started off, I hope we're going to do it on the right foot.
Yes, we had some technical issues like with every online talk, webinar, whatever. I never attended one that didn't have some sort of a technical issue. But we...
And thinking that in 1969 they were able to speak from space, right?
That's what they say. Some say that it was from a studio in downtown LA. So you never know.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Nimrod is, I know Nimrod through his Facebook group that's called The Mechanical Brush. It's a local Facebook group here in Israel, but it has relatively lots of friends and members, and they're sharing really nice stuff from Mid-Journey mostly. That's led by Nimrod, who's doing really nice creations in Mid-Journey.
Thank you.
And but besides it, or before it, Nimrod is a food photographer or a photographer in general that specializes in food. Maybe it's best that I will hand the mic over to you and you will present yourself.
Okay, so fine. So it's nice to be here talking to you. Like you said, my name is Nimrod, and I'm a photographer. I studied art in Bezalel Art Academy, and finished there in 2008. And I worked as a freelance photojournalist, not so much the journalism, but more the photographic side of it. And then I rolled into all other kinds of magazine photography, and today I really do mostly food photography and commercial photography. That's what I do most of my time. But lately I'm hooked on this as well. And it's actually rooted in my studies of art 15 years ago. So it's very interesting.
Cool. So, and you also teach, right? You also teach AI, and before that you taught other stuff as well.
I teach for 10 years now in Galitz, which is this photography school in Israel. It's the biggest school of photography. It's a kind of how-to photography school. Really knows how to take you into your niche and be expert in your niche. And that's where I did my twist into doing mostly food. And now I teach AI also. I have a course that I do with that school. It's called mechanical paint. It's actually the mechanical paintbrush, but mechanical brush works as well. And I used to have a course, a lesson that I would give in Galitz, and it was called the mechanical paintbrush. And in that course, I would teach how to use the camera to create practical art, how to use it as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to teach also about Deep Dream Generator. Do you know Deep Dream?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so hyped about it when I first saw it. The whole thing blew my mind. The whole neural network, that whole thing, it was just so amazing.
Yeah, it was by Google, right?
Well, so I understand that they have developed this, and this is something they had to do. They tried to develop in all kinds of ways, and then they understood that the neural network, this is the way they should go. And I remember they were talking about a machine that can have memories when it sees something, and those memories are random. It was amazing. So most people just did everything really crazy and popped out eyes from everything and then chickens and all kinds of crazy stuff. But I really like the part where you can bring in a style of any visual art and just blend it into any other photo. I love that. So I used to teach that.
Mhm.
And I thought it was really cool, but I knew it's not really going to change the world now. Most people are not gonna do anything with it.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time, like many stuff, many things from Google, like their glasses and that's it.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing it, and it's like, you know, like you, like when you fall in love with someone, and but it wasn't like love at first sight. You saw her, and then you
Yeah.
say it's stuck in your mind, and then you go back to it like 10 years later, and then it suddenly
But that
clicks.
has a whole different mechanic. I don't know if this is the right podcast for
Yeah.
that.
It's all I don't know. It's all connected. I think my like the biggest lesson that I'm learning from this whole crazy technology is that humans are not so complicated after all. It's like you can synthesize even human beings. You can like mimic the thought process, the creation process, memories. Ideas. It's all like I think that we may be flattering ourselves with being so special, unique, and complicated.
So that's right. I think also as well. And I thought about it today, and that's amazing that you say this because I thought about it. And then I thought, so like in a religious like point of view, if I would be religious now and I would say this, we are created by God and everything, and He is our programmers, right?
Mhm.
He's the programmer of us. So are we really synthesized as well? So it's like it's really close to one another. It's just this little leap you have to make from the machine to you to understand it's the same question because we are mortal, right?
Mhm.
So you ask yourself, when you switch off the computer, right, where goes all that knowledge? Does that disappear? That's
Yeah,
pretty morbid.
it's electricity, and then it's like our brains. Well, when we go to sleep, yeah, maybe it's a little bit different because our brain waves still function even when we sleep. But it's like, yeah,
Yeah, but when you turn off the computer, the data is stored in the
yeah.
hard drive, right? Even when it's switched off.
Hmm.
So it's just an amazing kind of thing to think about. There's a lot of things that also you know that most people don't know how the current technology really works. They don't really understand the mechanics of
Hmm.
how it does what it does.
Yeah, I heard a really exact description. Someone said that it's like it it doesn't matter how much they explain it to you. You're still like a native person in the jungle presented with a television, and you will always look for the people inside the box. You know, it's
No,
like
I mean also the people that are supposed to explain are not really
yeah,
sure
yeah.
how the
Definitely, I think it's lost control. You know, it's like you have like only an X amount of control over it, and beyond it, it's like Deus ex machina. It's a spirit inside the
yeah, I
machine.
would not let that manage like big weapon systems. I would let it manage images.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, yeah, you know, and also it should be monetized in some kind of way.
You think?
Yeah, sure. Because the strength of the tool is so big that you know an image can be very dangerous.
Hmm.
So to a private person on a private kind of life scale, but it can be very dangerous in a large scale as well.
Yeah, but then
Think
again,
about
the
yeah.
person that decides what is right and what is wrong is he or she. They have all the power, you know.
Oh yeah. So you already see a great deal of censorship in GPT and Midjourney,
Hmm.
right? That's one of the things that I think that are a problem with those platforms as well as creating art,
Hmm.
because art cannot really live under these kind of restrictions. But the other part is that when you have no restrictions, that is dangerous.
Yeah,
It could be dangerous to private people. Just think about it is totally real. You know, I came today to a stage that I can take any image with stable diffusion, like human image, and do whatever I want with it. And it's going to look really good. And 90% of the people, if it's not in the context of this is created by AI, can you know, most people are like putting out 10 images and asking which is AI and which is not. So everybody thinks that everything's AI. But if you present a realistic image to somebody and he doesn't know the context of the AI, he will believe it. So if I can do this today, I think a lot of other people. And that could be dangerous. And I think we're going to have a few years of electrical coconuts, scooters, you know. And then there's going to be legislation. And I think it's going to come after a lot of lawsuits and insurance companies that are going to have to pay a lot of money and lobbyists. And then there's going to be some rules, like law.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that this is, I mean, this is the most interesting part, because now it's like a sandbox, you know, that you can shit in and you can create the sand castles in, but everything is, yeah, this is the best part. Soon they will start closing the gates and you will need to pay 10 times as much to only use it.
You have stable diffusion and it's totally open. You can do whatever you want. And it's on Colab, and anybody can do it from any device. And the only thing that's a problem, it's the GUI, the GUI, which is a little bit poor, but you can do anything there.
First of all, I'm using stable diffusion locally. I think collabs are not going to stay for much longer, because it's eventually run by Google, you know. So Google will block it.
No, they won't. They will block a notebook because it does something for stable diffusion? Oh, because it
no,
works.
Because it's counterintuitive. They will find a business model that you will pay them. Look, currently nobody is making money out of it, you know. Everybody. Sorry?
I'm a premium member, so I pay.
Yeah, but you still you pay, but I mean, you pay. I pay for Midjourney. I used to pay for Google Colab, but it's not making them any profits. It's still, you know, how much money it takes or how much energy it takes to generate like 16 words out of ChatGPT. It's crazy. It's like they still haven't. Nobody found a business model that justifies that makes this thing profitable.
What? Generative AI?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How do you mean it's not profitable?
I heard David Holtz, this is his name, the CEO of Midjourney. He was saying that in his like office hours, he was saying that the only people they really make money out of are the people that signed up and never used the service, or used it like once or twice. He said like the average user they lose money on, and
because of GPU.
Yeah, because of GPU. Because
that's crazy. Well, yeah, that's a problem. Why isn't GPT-3 open to everybody? Exactly because of that.
Yeah, because they don't have enough resources to it. It keeps.
I don't think anybody has. I don't think that exists. That kind of resources for the world.
You can say it on Google on the search engine as well, but it's still stable, and I think it's a working process. It was released the way it's like. It's not even in its alpha stage, you know. They can call it beta, they can call it gamma, but it's still a baby, you know. It's
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
The best. Yeah. But let's roll back for a second, and I'd like to hear like how did you first encounter this beast?
Oh, so like I said, I really like Deep Dream Generator. Was always on my mind, and I played with it all the time, always and recently. And then I started seeing some works of my friend. He's a photographer. His name is Shai Kedem. I saw some works of him on Facebook, and it was like this crazy works of like oil paintings, like abstract oil paintings. I said, wow, this guy is like so talented. Like, wow. Because he's a really talented photographer. He's really talented. I said, wow, this is craziness. And I didn't doubt it for a second. For a second.
Mhm.
I said, he's talented. He can draw like a wow, like like a Renaissance artist. And then on a group that we had together, he popped up some images, like realistic images, and it was from V3 on Midjourney,
Mhm.
like, and it was so realistic that it fooled me. And when it fooled me, I said, okay, so if it fooled me, and I know about this, and I didn't see it coming, so this is good stuff. And the day after, I was already in it, generating stuff, and I really understood really quick that this is game-changing technology, and I just loved it. I understood that this is game-changing technology in the field of art. I didn't really think about other stuff, and that's it.
But what were your like next steps? You saw it, you fell in love with it, and then like did you like see how it's combined in your work? Did you see how like where did you see the potential, and how did it roll to be like the mechanical paintbrush, the group, and the course?
So the mechanic. So okay. So I really fell in love with it, and it was really crazy. And I on days that I worked between the dishes they gave me to take pictures of, I would be on Discord and doing all kinds of stuff. And then I thought, okay, this is really cool, but can I, a photographer, post this kind of works on Facebook? That was counterintuitive. That was like, no, this is something I shouldn't do. Not because I was afraid of my work, just because I thought it's like maybe it would be degrading to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, so I can put it up and I'm not going to write anything about it. And people are just going to be blown away, right? They're just going to say, this guy is a savant, like I thought about. And then I thought, okay, no. This is not how it's going to work. This is going to work only with sharing the knowledge, like completely. Like spreading the word. That's the only legitimacy of like a professional photographer, artist, to make images now this way, because it is very interesting. And I said I'm going to be very clear about everything I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm a true believer that when teaching, it makes you think about questions that you wouldn't ask, and then when you have to say the answer in words, that's the part where you learn the most. So I really like teaching.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I said I'm going to go. And then I posted a few things. I don't even remember what were the first one, but it really went viral. Not viral. Viral in my standards. I'm not a star or something.
Yeah,
but I really saw a good reaction. I said, okay, so we should harness this. And after a while that because at the beginning I saw stuff on Midjourney, and I said, because V3 was a lot not as simple as V4. Today, you can fall with your face on the keyboard, right, and hit imagine, and that's it. You have an amazing piece of art. And if this is the first one that you saw from Midjourney, this might be the most beautiful piece of art you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So this is crazy. But on V3, that wasn't really the case. It was a little bit, they say, gonky. It's a little bit like stable, right? Stable, you have to be really precise when you write the. It has to be like a really precise prompt, really good words, built right. Otherwise, it's crap, right? I don't know if you can say. So I wanted some time to see if I can really master this, if I can really understand how to be good at it. And after a while that I trained with it and really saw that I can do it, I said, okay, so I can open a group if I have something to give. And that's it.
Yeah. And from that, like, did you like get interest from people that to be taught? Like people asked you to teach them, or you saw that many questions arise and you saw the potential in like converting your knowledge into a class, a course?
So because I'm a freelance, yeah, I'm a self-employed individual.
Mm-hmm.
So I always think about how can I convert my knowledge into enterprise.
Yeah.
Not in a large scale, but in a simple kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I see this as a pure, one of the reasons I really like this is because I really think that this is how do you say this? It's like the
evolution.
It's like the evolution of photography.
Mm-hmm.
Or like what photography was for painting, this is for the rest of art.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and I tend to agree. Yeah.
It has a lot of parallel features, like being disciplinary,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can do a lot of things with each one. Another thing that I really like, it's when you have, in Hebrew, it's fuchs, in English, it's fluke. It's like a fluke, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, photography is really unique as art until now, because it's the only medium that lets you create like unarguable, beautiful art by a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about like postmodern, abstract kind of art. I'm talking about this kind of art that if you put up on a feed, it would get likes. So like likes, more not just from your mother, right? From people that see this. And in one of the things that photography is good, a lot of people like photography, it's because this can happen. You can take the camera and you would try to just, capture a moment. You have no kind of art ideas or aspirations. And then you click and something happens by the moment you were there and how you really held the camera and and you get this masterpiece. This can only happen in photography before AI. And now AI can do this, but even more. That's why it's even more addictive to the users.
Yeah, but it sounds like when you're describing it, it sounds like a degradation of the human talent. Because if it started with, say, painting, okay, so you needed some sort of a talent, even if you did like Jackson Pollock stuff.
מיומנות, how do you say מיומנות?
Skill.
Yeah, that's the difference mostly, because it's not about creativity.
Yeah, it's just that the skill now is kind of reduced, because
It's
now,
redundant.
I don't know if it's redundant. You still need to know how to express yourself or how to phrase a sentence or
chiseling something out of stone, right?
Mhm.
So if today you can create it and then extract a depth map, right? And then take that into modeling and print it. One, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But you don't need a lot. You don't need to chisel to see it. Listen, this is one of the when I went to Betzalel, you need to understand photography is a separate how do you say, faculty from art.
Mhm.
It's not together in all of the world. And why is that? Because photography is the cool kid that they didn't let in the club because they thought he's going to ruin everything. Right? So one of the teaching was about Walter Benjamin.
Mhm.
And he wrote about the effect that photography had over art. And it's called Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction.
Mhm.
which that's where the mechanical paintbrush comes from, because the camera is the mechanical paintbrush. And he talked about how photography is gonna democratize art. It's gonna bring it to a larger group of people. How it's gonna affect the halo that artists carried around. And I think that AI is gonna do that to everything else, because everybody can do really beautiful things. And I think it's gonna have a really great effect on the industry and price of art, and what is art.
As I see it, I think that like stuff that most people are like the wow effect that is created by Midjourney. Don't you find it a little bit like overwhelming in a negative way? Like, don't you? All the stream of amazing images, they start to look ugly to me. You know, it's like I cannot find it really hard to take another look at those perfect knolling images and perfect images of dishes and perfect images of whatever, cats in space, and it all looks like mashed potatoes, you know. It's like,
have you seen anything done in Midjourney that you do like?
I think that the earliest, like the first things I did, I liked them the most. It was still in version 3. And then when it evolved to version 4, it's like it became too perfect. And then I kind of, like nowadays, I basically take an image out of Midjourney and I get it to Stable Diffusion and I work image to image. I try to ruin the image, you know. It's this is
But
more.
are you looking for photorealism when you are creating?
Yeah, this is I'm more into a photorealistic style, but still I miss the roughness of the result. It's too the models in Midjourney are too polished. You know, it's like as you said, you can write cuckoo kaka and you'll get an amazing photo. It's not. In most cases, it's not really related to what you're writing. You know, also, people give too much of value to all sorts of descriptions that the machine doesn't even listen to. You know.
That's right.
So yeah, this I think is a very interesting thing to see evolving. Like I remember it also from the days of Flickr. You know, do you remember Flickr?
Oh, nice. I still have a page. I don't remember though the password, but I have a really nice page. Yes, from days ago.
I loved it. I still have friends, like real friends from this time, friends that I knew through Flickr. But then also it was like for me it was like a class in curating, because you know, it's the digital age. You come home from a concert or from just walking around in Tel Aviv with 1,000 images, and your initial instinct is to post the entire 1,000 on Flickr, you know?
That's right.
And then
everything.
yeah, and nobody gives a shit, and then you're depressed that nobody likes it, and then you learn to curate, to like take from the 1,000, take the 10, and from the 10, take the 1, and maybe even this one you eventually decided it's shit, and you need to hold on until your next session. So I feel it's the same situation here with the massive influx of images that most of them, let's admit it, and I'm also speaking on behalf of myself, most of them are complete shit and they're not unique in any way, you know. It's like so it will be really exciting from my perspective to see how it evolves, like how it
so like, listen, this is the most, I think this is one of the most interesting aspects of the whole thing, the aspect of style. And I think that Midjourney has a problem with an exacerbated style, and it's very hard to knock it off. And although this is what I try to do. This is what I try to do when I prompt. I try to not use the Midjourney style. And there's a ways to do it, I think.
Mhm.
But you're totally right about that. But Stable Diffusion is the most interesting, I think. I mean, working on the open code, not working in any platform, just hosting the thing on your computer or Google Colab, as long as it's going to be possible.
Mhm.
Maybe Hugging Face will do something. I don't know. Can work there. I think it's always going to be open, and I think working that way and tapping into communities on Discord and looking into the models that the people are making, that's crazy. That's crazy stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's also more rewarding, at least for me, that I need to generate the same thing like 1,000 times until not 1,000, but say 100 times until I come up with something that you need to send off the image until it's looking right. It's like a craft in Stable Diffusion. It's not like 2 clicks or copying some other guy's prompt and.
Listen, this is going to be most of it is going to be this way, and it's going to be very, very easy to people to do, and it's going to be monetized, and it's going to be sensorized, and that's going to be like 99% of the art made.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wants to deal with the open code is going to be really able to make unique works, I think.
Yeah. And what are your takes on using referencing existing artists? This is like a really interesting topic from my perspective. As an artist yourself, how would you feel if you were famous enough that people could, or maybe you are, that people could quote?
I should go into Lion B5 and check if there's photos of me there. There's a good chance there are.
Yeah, probably there are.
That's so cool.
Maybe not by name, maybe just by image to image, but maybe also by name,
If you search like Nimrod Saunders,
mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of stuff, but it's mostly Hebrew, so maybe that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but if I would be in there, and if my name would emulate the style, I would love that.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
Explain.
Well, first of all, I think that this whole thing is going to work in magnitudes. What it does, we started off with one piece of work for the city, right? And then it goes bigger and bigger and more and overclouds us because more people can make art, and it's easier to make art. And now it is so easy to make art that you can make 20,000 pieces of art in a few months, right? And you're one person. And you didn't pay so much money for it. So we're going to be showing more and more images together. And I think the whole art world, if you think about what this does in like Walter Benjamin thought, it takes up every part that makes the art world and makes it one dimension higher. And now what happens, style is a real thing. It's like this, it's utilized completely. You can use it, you can sell it, we can model something on somebody's style and then put it on the Web3 and tokenize it or whatever, and it's a real thing. And that has consequence, I think. So I think that the most powerful part of this revolution is style. And I think not using it is missing the whole point.
Yeah, no, I'm not against using it. I'm just asking what.
I think
imagine you are an artist. You are, let's say, Greg Rutkowski, which is like the most ripped off artist in history right now.
That's just because nature of people to copy and paste, and even.
I think it's because his style is super pleasant to the eye, and people want.
Do you think it has that impact on so many different images?
I'm sure. I mean, it's a fact. Maybe it's not. I mean, maybe. Look, I didn't know Greg Rutkowski before AI. And maybe this is a good thing that I'm receiving like a free art history lesson here in this day and age.
Totally. I learned so much about styles and art and graphic style and animation and anime. And it really, you have to learn to know how to prompt. You have to know what to reference.
Yeah, but maybe it's I'm for like referencing the art, not the artist. I mean,
But it has a different representation in the data.
yeah, I agree.
It's
Yeah.
much more powerful to create this amazing piece of art, referencing artists that is undisputable. And I think that we see that it's again really close to photography, where when photography came out and to get into the club, you had to deny the work that came out of photography of its uniqueness, of the uniqueness of the medium, which is realism, which is preciseness, which is catching the moment. And you see that the first movements, most movements of photographers that wished to be artists, they wanted to degrade and to take off the photorealism in manner to make it more artistic. So I'm more of an Ansel Adams kind of photographer, f64. Let's make it as sharp as hell. Let's make it so realistic that nobody will understand what it is. Let's use it. And I see the same kind of thing going on today, which I recognize that this is the power, this is the thing, this is the holy grail, the style, and there's a really complex question about what's going to happen to style because of this, but it is going to happen. But I'm saying the power of this medium is using this style, and I feel like this is the right, maybe it's going to be suable and then I won't do it. Yeah. But we're still in the scooter period.
And this is the scooter on the sidewalk without a helmet.
Still on the sidewalk.
Running over old ladies.
Well, the helmet is on. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is to kick them all out of here.
Yeah.
But we're still in the scooter time.
No, but Ansel Adams, I think it's a good example, because if you take a photo of Ansel Adams, okay, and then you go into Midjourney and you say Snowy Mountains in Colorado by Ansel Adams, and then you get something that, what is the value of creating a Midjourney image or a Stable Diffusion image or whatever, a DALL-E image that is exactly like copying in so many words and references the art. Even if you put them side by side, if you don't eventually realize that this is a digital work created in generative art, what is its value? It's just a copy of...
I think that is the value.
Realizing that it's digital art, or what?
No, the value is that you cannot recognize. So it's like, I don't know how to say it in English, but simulacra, right?
Yeah.
So this is like the perfect simulacra. This is like the end of postmodernism. It's like the tip of it. But
it's the end of many things, maybe more than just...
What would it be cool to do? So think about it. So the machine learned about Ansel Adams, right? And Ansel Adams had this intuitive kind of way of composing pictures.
Mm-hmm.
The machine turned that into math. It really knows the composition of Ansel Adams. So just by making more Ansel Adams images, that is just pure amazing. Just that there is this mathematical aesthetic that is preserved. I find that, listen, Vermeer, right? He painted like 40 paintings. That's it. His whole life, just 40, because it took so long to make each one. He would, he would work with a lens and do the pixels. That's not enough 32 works by Vermeer. I would really, and let's take it to music, or like, I would like 100 more Tchaikovskys. Why not? Give me that. Give me. And if it's mathematical correct, that's even more of a blessing. It's like, it's amazing. I think it's amazing. It's good stuff. I don't know if it's art, but it's good stuff.
No, you have a point there. I think it's more of a good thing is good, but the question is more of a good thing, but without without the deltas that make you realize that it's not just a copy of the original. It's something. I
Yeah,
tried. I mean, when I approach this medium, I try to. I always ask myself, okay, but what is my input? What is my how do I contribute to the art? What is my signature on it? What is my addition?
but you thought to make it and you did.
Hmm.
But that's not only. It depends what you do. I don't know. It depends about, you can use it for all traditional kind of artworks. People use it for political messages. People use it just to make, and it depends, is a good designer, is a designer in some way an artist?
Design is a useful art. It's a practical art.
Art can also be useful.
No, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's. I think it's good that it's still debatable and people don't take it automatically as something they can just do. I think that as long as we think about, we philosophize about this medium, then we're in a good place. I would like to be in an artist's shoes, like an artist that worked like 40 years on creating amazing matte paintings, and then
If you hold the skill in a
Mhm.
very high level,
Mhm.
that is it's still going to be valuable.
I heard
I
I heard
I don't
some.
know if in 50 years there's going to be somebody as skilled as that now in the same capacity of amount of people,
Mhm.
because it won't be needed. But I think that artists now, well, as a photographer, listen, today I had a talk with a customer and she gave me a list of recipes and I generated the references for her.
Mhm.
And that's what we're going to do. So that's one use. There's another customer of mine that needs background of a kitchen behind a sandwich that I took a picture of. We can make it there. So as a photographer, it makes me more desirable. I mean, also for my customers, because I can make it really easy for them to create what they want
Mhm.
in a way they couldn't before. So I think that if you are a skilled artist and you learn this is only going to enhance your abilities.
Yeah.
But most definitely in the future, people are going to be working in different stuff in different ways.
Yeah, I heard someone say, I heard like two really quotes that I keep repeating, keep preaching to other people. One is that like 80% of our kids' jobs were not yet invented, like,
Yep.
and the other ones, it says that like there are going to be like three tiers of, like three levels of humanity. One is the highest level is the people that create the tools, the AI tools. And
Yes.
the other one is the people that use the tools, that know to use the tools. This is like the mid level, and the lowest level is the people that were replaced by the tools. Like for example,
Mhm.
taxi drivers or
No, well,
or people
isn't
that,
that of humankind?
yeah.
But listen, there are still printed newspapers. Let that resonate for a second.
Hmm.
There's still printed newspaper. People are still printing papers, and that's pretty amazing. So I think everybody that's panicking, you know, we have time. It doesn't work that fast.
Yeah,
But this is the time to catch the distance from the other runners.
yeah. To make the adjustments to stay in the game.
I mean, not only stay in the game, but this is an opportunity. I think this is a real
Definitely,
opportunity.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
you should treat it that way, and also it's very fun.
Yeah, I
Very,
definitely see like my next job is I'm a designer and a motion designer, a video editor, and I definitely see my next job as I don't want to say prompt engineer because it sounds like a stupid
Yeah,
stupid profession, but
people don't like that name.
no, it's also imagine yourself like sitting like a clerk, sitting in an office and writing lines for a machine. It's not even something I imagine myself wanting to do, but
I think it would be like Odysseus, that you would be talking to a bot
mhm.
and have a conversation with him all day long, and images would just pop off everything that you talk to him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe like a job that training a machine to like to extract your human entity, having a machine learn a person from just having conversations with him. Imagine that. Like because up until now it's just like clouds of data from existing like I don't know, Wikipedias or blogs or whatever, newspapers. But I mean, I'm sure they're also doing this. Like,
What, like real time?
yeah, imagine
Real
like,
time
I mean, I'm sure that like even ChatGPT, it learns from conversing with humans. It's.
I think it does, but only per chat.
Hmm.
And I think they collect data all the time, but I think it's only for the next implementation.
Hmm.
From the way I try to train models,
Yeah.
I know it's the signature that you brand into, and it's a very big file, and then you have to implement it inside. So I would think that in the capacity of Midjourney, that's something you can't do all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but eventually I think it's also a matter of evolution because now you have like models that you can create like what you do with Astria or what you do with Dream Booth that in the beginning they weighed like 7 gigs and now you can do a textual inversion that weighs only 10K. It's like Wave versus MP3, eventually all this data it will weigh 1K, it will
Okay,
be super compressed.
why do you have to carry all the other data to put yours in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. I
Yeah.
liked it. It works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So let's finish with with what are your thoughts or wishes or how do you see like this technology like mixing with your profession or with your day-to-day life? How do you see it how do you see its involvement in your like say I don't want to say 5-10 years from now because it's like I think it's going to blow up in like even 6 months from now. I keep hearing that Google is preparing some counter strike for.
Let's see it. Come on, bring it on.
It will come, I'll be sure.
We're gonna enjoy it. Bring the popcorn, right?
Yeah.
So how do I see it moving forward?
Like from your perspective, not essentially.
I see me using this more and more in my day-to-day job. I think it's gonna take over all kinds of practices, and it's gonna be implemented in them anyway. In photography, in digital, in graphic designs, in UI. I think it's gonna work. If they make text to vector, that would be pretty cool, right? But I think in my perspective, it's gonna be a part of it. Still, I'm gonna have to take pictures. Also, you can see photography going into video now, much more video and much less stills. So I think that's an interesting thing. So we're gonna have to wait. But in stills, there's a lot of places to put it in. But mostly, I like the fact that this is a cultural and a cultural revolution that's happening in front of our eyes, and I just really enjoy watching it and see what we can do with it and moving forward and seeing how it's taking over everybody and every person that I know that comes into the group. It really makes me smile because I understand that now we're gonna have this new connection when we meet, because this is a really cool thing and he's gonna really love it. And that's it.
Cool, Nimrod. Thanks a lot for this conversation. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
And
Thank you.
we'll paste some links in the footnotes of this video afterwards, in the comments, I mean. And yeah, we'll be in touch. I invite everybody that's listening to and that can read Hebrew, or maybe it's not that important. At least they can enjoy the art itself.
We have some international people hanging out. It's all translated, so they should come.
Cool. So I'll paste the link in the comments as well. And yeah, thanks a lot. I'll see you around.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. תודה.